uh, a lot of people wanted to get married to one of the foster family people, and it's not just the foster family who wanted me to get married to them. They thought that if they married me, like in the realm of hypothetical situation, it's not even possible, but they thought that they could. And then afterwards, like all the stuff they've stolen would be technically shared property, so it wouldn't be considered stealing then. And they could still have access to all of my things and my money, and also they wouldn't be caught and sent to prison. That was their plan. This has been the plan with a lot of people who have stolen from me. That's why they're starting to show up, to make it seem like we were just having a lover spat and they weren't actual sex offenders or perpetrators of a hate crime. And also, a lot of the people who were involved in these thefts were also advocating for me to be married to one of the family members. But I'm like, does that not sound like a fucking cult to you people? Like, it's clearly insane. And also not going to work. Why would I ever want to go near them? Like, they're fucking retarded. And they're on a lot of meth. Like, I don't know, maybe the meth dealers are supporting this. And like, it's always the meth addicts who were calling me the meth addict too. The crackheads were calling me the crackhead, and like, I've never seen an alcoholic call me an alcoholic, and I've never seen someone who smokes pot call me a pot smoker. But it's the crackheads and the tweakers and the people who are on heroin and all that kind of stuff. They're the ones who are telling me I'm the one who's on a lot of drugs, and I'm the one who's doing all these sex on all these drugs and stuff. But yeah, a guy that I was forced to be with, like the rapist that I met, he was trying to send me back to the foster family, and he got a bunch of Jewish people involved because he's a Jew. And in their culture or whatever, apparently that's normal. And I'm like, yeah, that's not normal ever. And also, you guys need to leave me alone. And I've told them this repeatedly, and they refuse to believe it. Like, they believe that, like, I'm not Jewish. I'm not a fucking Jew. Like, I don't know why that's so hard for some people to believe. And honestly, like, yeah, they're getting a life sentence in prison, which they refuse to believe is happening. They don't think they're getting a life sentence in prison. They don't think they're getting their citizenship revoked. They don't think any of that kind of stuff is happening. In fact, they think that's happening to me because they think that I'm the one who raped myself. I'm the one who stole from myself, right? Like, all this money that it has been stolen from me was done by me, and I have it somewhere, and I'm just lying about it. And I'm like, what the fuck are you even on about? Yeah, every time I call the police about some robbery or theft happening, they deny that it even happened, like they were involved in it somehow. And I'm like, why are you stealing my tax money? Just fucking quit. Holy shit. But yeah. They thought that I was gonna marry one of the foster people, and I'm like, no, I don't care. Legally, it's still illegal. I just want to point that out. It's illegal in Canada to marry a family member. It's illegal, 100%. In fact, I think up to their first cousin, it's illegal. They can't marry their aunt or uncle or their cousin or their mother, brother, sister, brother, niece and nephew. They can't marry them because it's illegal, right? It's actually illegal to even engage in sexual relations with them. It's actually called a sex offense. Again, we're not blood related, but legally we're listed as family members, and that's still illegal. Which is why I'm like, I'm not doing those things just because you think that's gonna work, because you fantasize about being married to me all the time. And they think that, like, if I married them, like, they're calling me, they're actually people following me and stalking me and calling me crazy because I don't want to marry a family member. This is how I know they're in a cult. And I'm like, why do you think this way? It's actually kind of like irritating that you are starting to call sane people crazy and you think crazy people are sane. It's a headache. You know, it's just kind of like, you think ugly people are good looking and good looking people are ugly. You think fat people are skinny and skinny people are fat. Why don't we live in a world where that's happening right now? Like, well, you know what? Chairs are beds and beds are floors and the light bulb is now a wooden stake and this building is actually just a cheesecake. Yeah, let's live in that world. Like, that's crazy. But that's the world that they live in because they're going through psychosis, because they're meth addicts, because meth addicts are usually hicks from backwards countries and they have sex with their family members. And they think that I'm crazy for not wanting to be part of it. And I'm like, are you aware of what you're doing? The answer is no, because they're on meth. You know, they're on a lot of drugs. Also, how to spot an alcoholic. An alcoholic will always blame the innocent person. So they would be involved in a thing that's causing them a lot of problems, right? Like they would be involved in like some sort of crime ring, like a prostitution crime ring, and they start drinking because it's bad and they're sad about the things that they're doing and how it's affecting themselves and other people. And they'll start drinking. And then they will start targeting an innocent person, saying, it's your fault, you're the one at fault. They'll blame the victims for it. Try to find any reasons to justify their involvement that way. That's projection, actually. They do project. But not like in the meth head or crackhead way, saying like, oh, you're the alcoholic. Like, they would actually admit to not doing that, right? Like, not being an alcoholic. Like, with crackheads and tweakers, they'll always blame other people for what they're directly doing. With alcoholics, it's hard to tell at first. But it will show itself sooner or later. And yeah, they're monsters when they're drinking and when they're not drinking. And the whole path to sobriety is a bitch, okay, for alcoholics. And usually many of them actually opt out of living that kind of life and they choose to continue to drink alcohol. It's a significant problem. It has been for a number of years now. And it's been well documented by lots and lots and lots of doctors and therapists and health clinicians and all those people. How to spot a coke addict. They will actually get aggressive towards you when you are on their side. That's how you can tell. So like you would be like, they would be upset and you're like, yeah, that would upset me too. And then they would start attacking you. Saying like, no, like you fuck you. And then I'm like, what the fuck? Like they'd be like, yeah, like this guy was like, I don't even know this guy, and like I would be there seeing this happen, and they'd be like, yeah, he just like randomly came up to me and threw coffee on me. It didn't even make sense. I'm like, yeah, that would upset me too, dude. And then coke addict would be like, you know what? Yeah, I am upset, okay? And you also are the problem why I'm upset. In fact, why aren't you upset? Like, why aren't you the one who's being upset right now? Like, you should be the upset person. That's what it's like to be near a coke addict. And it's just like, oh my god. No, they're not actually like involved in that. Like they didn't set it up or whatever, but like it's weird. It seems like that they were involved with the other person. That's what that looks like. But it's not. But that's how you can tell it's a coke addict. With a heroin addict, they will do everything they can to support their addiction. And they have a hard time finding friends because the sting of rejection hits them so hard that they end up doing heroin over and over and over again. And it's like, most of them actually do end up with HIV. And other psychedelic stuff, I don't know, like they're kind of psychotic. I wouldn't go near them.